So if you have an American Express credit card that charges you an annual fee, there is a really, really important change coming along later in 2023 that you need to know about because it could impact just how much money you can make from this card. I'll take you through basically what's happening, the broad base of what's happening, and I'll also take you through some of those key cards, what I think you should be doing with them to beat this change or stick with it. So fundamentally what's happening is that on the 2nd of October this year, you will not be able to get a pro rata refund when you cancel an American Express credit card. Now, what does that mean? So pro rata refund, for those who don't know, means that if you cancel it halfway through a year, you would get 6 months of that fee returned to you. If you did it 9 months into the year, you get 3 months back. And by year, I'm talking about the year from when you first open that card. So the 12-month cycle that continues on around that. You get some of the money back. Now that's been really, really good because if you've wanted to change your card for whatever reason, well then you don't have to keep paying that fee. Or, and this is where most of the time if you watch my videos on a regular basis, you know I talk about some of these welcome offers that come along with American Express that are boosted. You can really, really stack the deals, stack the promotions and get a nice amount of cash, extra additional cash on top. But sometimes I've suggested that maybe you just use the card for the duration of that promotion. Once you've triggered it, you can cancel the card and get the rest of the fee back. But that's obviously not going to happen anymore. So I'm going to let me sort of explain exactly what I think you should do into those different cards. So let's have a quick look at which cards actually have a fee, because there are obviously cards that don't charge you anything at all for the duration of having the card or even in that first year. And it might be that if you have one of those cards that doesn't charge you anything, that's fine. You just keep on sticking with those. But often these ones that have a charge, there's a reason they have a charge. You get extra benefits and features. So the key ones here, there will be others, but these are the key ones. American Express Platinum credit card, £575 a year. Yeah, you heard that right. The British Airways Premium Plus American Express card, £250 a year. The American Express Preferred Rewards Gold credit card, that's £160, but in the first year it is free. There's the American Express Nectar card, £25 a year, but again, that is free in the first year. Or there's the American Express Cashback credit card, £25 a year. They are the key ones that I'm going to talk about right now. And we'll go through them one by one. The first one, let's talk about the Amex Platinum card, because this one's the biggest fee and the one that's going to have, I think, quite a sizable impact on some of you. So that £575, it is a fair whack. Some people out there might get value for money from this card. You get things like travel insurance, you get extra credit every year to spend at restaurants and Harvey Nicks, and all these things can add up. And if you travel a lot, like all the time, and have a lot of money, then maybe you feel that it is worthwhile doing this. Personally, as I detailed in my review a while ago, I don't think most people should be paying £575 for this card. I don't think you need it. But, as I've shared with you previously, a couple of times a year, there's normally a really, really, really good welcome offer where the points you can get, the Amex reward points you get from this card, based on a minimum spend, so you have to be able to spend a certain amount of time to get this promotion, can be really, really, really good. And then when you stack that on top of those other offers like the cashback in restaurants, like the travel insurance, there's a bit of extra on top as well, then you can be making a fair whack. So for example, the one that ran just a few months ago, it ended just in June, that one potentially, if you took all the different steps, could have been worth £815 in profit. £815. Again, wouldn't be for everyone, some things you had to do, but that was a kind of a real kind of money maker. Yeah, fantastic. And part of that figure of £815, or the year before it was around £900, the offer obviously changes each time it comes along. Part of that was cancelling the card as soon as you triggered that bonus, you're getting a refund, a partial refund on that fee. If this offer was to return in exactly the same form we had it right now, it comes back either later this year or next year, the profit's going to be around, again, 575 quid. So you're down by about £240 potentially if it was exactly the same deal. So that is disappointing, right? But again, when that deal comes around, something you can think about whether you want to commit to having the card for the full year, and there will be other benefits that come with having it for the year and still a healthy profit. But only again when that boosted offer runs. When the normal welcome offer is going, I really don't think it's worth it. I think this is definitely one to hold out for a boosted welcome offer. Now, what I want to quickly touch on here is, what if you're someone who has taken advantage of the offer earlier this year in kind of May and June in order to get all those things together and get that massive welcome deal? What should you be doing? Do you stick around until the 2nd of October and then cancel your card, or cancel it before there to ensure you get the refund on the fee? Or do you keep going for the whole year? Which again, if you opened it in May, well, means you're keeping the card until May next year. If you open it in June, until June next year, you get the gist, right? Well, it depends how far advanced you are on that spend to trigger the bonus. You absolutely want to keep ensure you get, I think it was 60,000 points from a £6,000 spend in 6 months. You absolutely want to ensure you're going to trigger that. And if you can't trigger that before the 2nd of October, well then just keep the card going as normal for now, trigger those points, take advantage of all the other things that come with it, but put a note in your calendar, and I'll say this for all these cards, put a note in your calendar to ensure you do cancel it when that year is up, so you don't get charged another £575. Now, if you can trigger that bonus before the 2nd of October, it does mean you will miss out, in the details I sort of went through a few months ago, a couple of the promos which renew on the 1st of January. So you'd be about 200 quid down. So you're looking at a maximum profit of 615 quid. You might be happy with that. Or you might go, well, I might as well just keep the card going and take advantage of those offers in January and keep it going until the card finishes and make it a little bit less and see what comes along. Broadly, I think you're going to come out roughly even around that £600 mark rather than the £815, which initially would have happened if you could have got a pro rata refund on it. So that's the Platinum card. That's what I would sort of keep an eye on there to see what the situation is. The other big one to talk about in terms of large fees was that British Airways Premium Plus credit card, £250 a year. Now, once again, there is a welcome offer that runs normally every year. It's been the last 2 years in January that has been really, really, really good. I think it was like 70,000 Avios points you could get in January this year. Fantastic. If you convert those into Nectar points, it's worth a lot of money. Even if you keep the card going for the whole year, it's worth looking at. But again, I would sort of hesitate here and I say again, the normal welcome offer isn't so good. So you wouldn't want to be getting the card for the welcome points and then have to keep the card for the whole year if that's what you're after, just the welcome points. The difference with this card is that there is an incentive to keep it going for a whole year anyway. So you might not want to cancel it before the 2nd of October if you currently have one of these cards. And this is the fact that if you spend £10,000 on the card in a year, you get a companion voucher to use on a BA flight. Effectively, it's a 2-for-1 deal to use on flights. Now that, if you think about it, you're spending £250 on this card, you're basically saying you're spending 250 quid to get this additional ticket for a flight. Now that can be a massive saving if you're going to be flying, let's say on business class or flying across the world. So you think, right, you're very happy to pay 250 quid to save potentially hundreds of pounds on the tickets if you're just buying them direct. But when you're using a companion voucher, you do have to have enough Avios points to cover the entire initial flight. And if you are looking at business class or looking at really far-flung destinations, that's a lot of points you have to earn. So you might not be able to do that. So just bear that in mind when you calculate where you want to go, how much you need to spend to earn those points. Also, you are quite restricted on when you can use those companion vouchers and those points. It might be there's only a certain number of flights, particularly the really in-demand ones, business class, Australia, you might struggle to actually get hold of those or have to fly on certain dates. So again, you've got to weigh up again, is it worth paying 250 quid effectively for this voucher, spending a lot of money on this card in order to get this? And this is not just right now, it's every year from now on. Is it worth doing that? Personally, I'm not a fan. I have used one, I'm using one this year, which will save me some money, which is great. But a lot of destinations I looked at, it wouldn't have made a difference and it would have stopped me shopping around for different deals. So again, it's something to consider. Now, if you have this card and you are able to trigger that companion voucher before the 2nd of October, then you do not need to keep this card. You can downgrade for free to the other British Airways American Express card, and that will not impact the voucher. Once it's been triggered, it is banked, it's yours, you've got 2 years to use it, and you don't need to keep that particular British Airways Amex Premium Plus card to use it to book your flight later on. Any American Express card will do. So you can downgrade, go on the live chat, downgrade to the free card, and that should be nice and easy. If you haven't yet triggered your voucher, and you want to sort of get the pro rata refund on the Premium Plus card before the 2nd of October, before that deadline comes into play, then you will have to spend more to get a lesser companion voucher on the free card. So the card won't cost you anything, but you've got to spend 12 grand in a year to trigger it. And so let's say you're on 9 grand right now, well, you have to spend another 3 grand on the card, on your new card, to trigger the voucher, whereas before on the old card, it would just be £1,000 to trigger it. Plus the companion voucher that comes with the free British Airways Amex card cannot be used in the same way. It only lasts for a year and it's only on economy flights. So again, you've got to weigh up why you're getting this card, why you want this companion voucher, if you want it, whether you want to cancel it before the 2nd of October. The next one to talk about here is the American Express Preferred Rewards Gold credit card. Now, this is free in the first year, right? So I think it's a decent one for lots of people to look at. Recently shared a welcome offer that's running in July and in August of 2023. So it's worth having a look at that if you want to get some welcome bonus points there and pay nothing for the first year. However, this one, the fee of £160 comes in at the start of year 2. And I don't see any reason why anyone would want to keep this card. Yes, you get money off at Deliveroo. Yes, you get some airport lounge passes, but they're not worth 160 quid. Not in my opinion. I think very, very few people are going to find that's really good value for money compared to other cards elsewhere. So this new rule, I don't think it makes any difference. I would be looking to cancel this after 12 months before or after this rule change in October. So if you have this card or you get this card, as with all the others, just make a note to make sure you do cancel it before it renews, okay, to avoid that happening. 2 more cards I want to cover. The American Express Nectar card, again, I don't think there's much you need to worry about this one. Yes, it's a £25 annual fee, free in the first year. I also think this is probably one of those cards that you want to have for 1 year, and then at the end of that year, cancel it before that charge comes in, and look at a different card. Apply for a different card where there is no charge at all, because you don't need to pay for one. Why should you pay for one? So generally, I wouldn't worry too much about that one. It's not one that you would have cancelled halfway through the year for most people anyway. But again, if you think you've got one and you don't really use it, and you're maybe halfway through a year, then why not cancel it now rather than have another sort of £12 that you'd lose for a card that sits in the wallet not used. If you make, let's say you're using your Chase card instead, or you've got the Platinum card and you're doing all the spending on it. So you've got those options. Now, the last one I want to talk about here that is something more impactful we need to consider on. This is the American Express Platinum Cashback credit card. Again, was years ago one of the best ones out there. Now it's not as good. I personally wouldn't go for it as my first Amex card because there are better paying options out there, such as Chase's 1% debit card or that Amex Gold card for the first year. You're going to get closer to 1% for that if you're swapping from Amex points to Nectar points to Avios points. Again, I know it's a bit much for some people, and they like the idea of the Platinum card. It's just hard cash. You earn the money and you just get it back. But for most people, there are better options. But let's say you've got this card now, right? You'd be thinking, well, I don't want to get charged. I'll cancel it. So avoid that kind of cancel by the 2nd of October, so I get a bit of a pro rata refund because I'm not fussed about this card. I don't really want it to renew and then stuck with it another £25 for another year. Don't do that. And the reason you shouldn't do that is because this card in particular is different to all the other cashback cards out there and reward cards, because you only get paid the cashback you earn 1 month after the anniversary of having the card. So you've got to have the card for 12 months, and then on the 13th month, all the cashback you've earned will be paid in a statement to your card. If you close that card any earlier, any moment before you get that cashback paid onto your statement, you'll lose it. So you've got to wait 13 months in order to get your earnings for that year. Now, this new rule on pro rata refunds worried me slightly, because if you're going to get charged a new membership fee after a year on your anniversary, but you've got to wait another month in order to get your cash back, you're going to be in this continuous cycle where you either cancel the card and sacrifice £25 of the fee, or you cancel the card and sacrifice the cash back that you've earned. But you probably wouldn't, would you? Because if you're paying £25 to earn the cash back, you'll wait to get that cash back in a year, but you've paid it again. So you'll keep going around and around and around and around. And I was quite worried that meant that this card was could be a bit of a trap for people. So I contacted American Express and I got some information back from them that said that this card, and I think this applies to all the other cards as well, but do check the terms and conditions, that you can cancel it up to 30 days after it renews. So let's assume you've got the card. The anniversary comes around. You get charged a new fee. A month later, you get paid the cashback for the year. But on that same day, potentially, if it's within 30 days, you can cancel the card and get a refund on the fee for the rest of that year. And then you're out of it and you don't have to worry about it going forward. So that hopefully is possible. And again, you have to diarise this and keep checking. Has that money been paid? Has the cashback been paid? Has the cashback been paid before that deadline of the 30th? So you can cancel it and get the refund. But I think there's a lot of room here where this could go wrong. So what if it's a 31-day month? What if weekends and bank holidays mess with when you're going to get paid the cashback? Again, I'm sure it'll be workable, and Amex customer service is generally very good, and you'd hope they'd find a way to help you with this if there was a bit of a mess here or there. But be really, really careful of this as an existing customer. And I would say, as new customers, there are other Amex cards or other cashback cards out there that I would go to instead of this now, absolutely, because of this potential to be caught paying £25 every year to earn cashback, really cutting into the returns you'll get when you can get similar rates or potentially even higher rates of cashback on different cards without having to pay that fee. Lots to take in, I appreciate. I've gotten through all of this again over on BeCleverWithYourCash.com, plus details of any American Express welcome offers when they come along, all listed there as well. So make sure you check that out to make sure you are playing for one of these cards at the best possible time. My name's Andy Webb. For more ways to boost your American Express returns, check out these videos right here. Till next time, cheers.